Okay, this is Carsten Kaisig speaking for Capri-Sonne. Very noisy here. Probably won't get anything.
Okay.
So tell me about working with Huyan. Did you work with them?
Yeah, we first started with Huyan several years ago as a producer of Capri-Sonne. So as they are one of the biggest fruit juice companies in China, with a great expertise in production technology when it comes to aseptic filling, to Tetra, PET, and they were interested in the pouch technology. So we started with them 6 to 7 years ago.
How many? 6 or 7? Yeah.
6 or 7. It was 6 or 7 years ago. So they were distributing in the very beginning for us Capri-Sonne. And then we learned that having our own people, our own Chinese sales force on the ground is the key success factor. So we started in the region of Guangdong area, which is the southeast area of China. Yeah. So we kept away from Shanghai, we kept away from let's say Beijing, where all the Western companies are focusing in. And we really want to establish the brand Capri-Sonne as a domestic brand with domestic consumers, with loyal consumers, with a high repurchase rate. And we wanted to understand what are the consumer dynamics and the consumer insights. So therefore we hired an own sales team with key account managers, and we worked together with local distributors. So we had for each city, for each region, we had beverage distributors, and we listed Capri-Sonne in the modern trade, but also in the very traditional trade. And we worked a lot with sampling ladies, with promotion ladies, explaining the product. We did a lot of cooperations, let's say, with local school soccer teams, for example. So everything which is active kids, which has something to do with schools. And we trained the people that Capri-Sonne is all natural. So we have a signet on the pouch saying it's the best for your kids because it contains water, it contains fruit juice. So it's the best combination for keeping your kid healthy, but also for rehydration. So because the Chinese consumers are looking very, very much for healthy ingredients, and it's a good news on the one hand that you are an international brand, they like that, but on the other hand they really want to see the reason why and the benefit of a product. I think they're much more interested about the functionality of a product than the Western or the European consumers are. And when you are in China, the people, when they go to restaurants, when they have food or something to drink, it's not about the taste, or it's not only about the taste, it's about the functionality. They drink that tea or they eat that vegetable because of that reason. And I think this is a total different mindset.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest difference Western European countries or people should be aware of. And
taste is not the priority.
Exactly.
So it's healthy.
Exactly. It's healthy, and it's like a brick in a wall for their daily diet. And so I think this was the biggest success factor. So and today we have managed that we have a very loyal repurchase rate. The people are buying, so really the domestic Chinese people. So Capri-Sonne is not an expat brand in, let's say, Beijing or whatever. And 2 years ago we decided when it was clear that the Olympic Games will come to Beijing, that we also will move to Beijing because Huyan is close to Beijing. So we had a lot of, we had access already there. And after now we have been successful in the Guangdong area, in Shenzhen. We are moving now to Beijing. And we build it up there in convenience stores, also in modern trade and in traditional trade distribution.
What's the difference between modern and traditional? What do you mean?
Modern trade are the typical supermarkets.
Okay.
So you have the class A, B, C. So A is, let's say, Carrefour. You have really the hypermarkets. So what do you say, European standard?
Yes.
Then you have smaller supermarkets. And then the traditional are more the typical Chinese, smaller shops, corner shops. Yeah. And this is total different approach of distribution and everything. Yeah. So one is more key account driven, and one is really day-to-day contact via wholesalers and and you really have a good relationship with the shop owners, something like that. So, and
so how many staff do you have in China?
It's about 40 people. 40.
Who are distributors who then control teams who are Chinese.
Exactly. And they are Chinese. We have only Chinese people there on the ground, and we're working closely together with our, which is very helpful, our wild B2B. We have in Beijing a big facility, so we're also using synergies between wild B2B, our factory in Beijing. That we have shared services like HR or finance. So I think this is very helpful that we have also there Chinese people, but some of them live for a long time in Germany. So we have a good interface between the cultures there. So, and we have, for example, German employees. They're living now for, I think, 8-9 years in China, having their 2 kids raised there, speaking fluently. When you see a 3-year-old kid, a German-looking guy, baby or a young kid, and speaking fluently Chinese.
Isn't it? That's
and you see, this is the future of this kid will have a great future.
Bilingual. Yeah.
Exactly, bilingual and understanding both cultures.
Quite easily.
And I think this was the right decision, that we have been very early in China with wild B2B, also with Capri-Sonne, but with a clear objective, not burning too much money. Because our experience is that the Chinese, the trade, the distributors, also the manufacturers are very well aware of that all the other Western European companies try to integrate.
And they're keen to exploit it.
Exactly, and they know that they have a lot of money, and they will tell you quite simple. If you want to enter China, you have, for example, have to have $30 million US dollar for marketing spending. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to start. And
that's not true. You don't need that.
If you will do the big bang approach with TVC and everything, yes, you will need a lot of money. If you really build up distribution, do a TVC, do all the supports, then you will do you will need a lot of marketing. If you want to do that jumpstart thing. But if you look in the market, a lot of people have failed. Even if they have invested a lot of money, they failed. So it's not a really.
So your way was to take people from Germany who also had Chinese links
and mix it and then really put up a Chinese sales force there and give them a little bit of time, give them clear objectives. And this is also a tough one, really, to have that regular, let's say, quarterly meetings with them to really readjust the strategy and to put them back on our objectives. So